Say you had to do a quick studio session or live performance and they tell you, just bring along your bass and that's it. What do you mean that's it? No, I'm bringing the FLEX with me. And I'll tell you why, but you gotta watch the video. Welcome back to The Wetter Bass. I'm Jean-Marc Van Loo and I try to release a video weekly of effects on bass for the intrepid minds of bassists. So what is the FLEX? It's a tube bass preamplifier. Basically, it takes in your bass signal, embellishes it by slightly compressing it while enhancing certain harmonics or frequencies, and even giving it character or saturation. So instead of the direct bass signal that can sound lifeless in certain situations, we send a signal that is not only balanced as this pedal has a DI out, but also a more beautiful one. The FLEX is easy to use. It's got 4 knobs, a master volume, bass and treble that cut and boost frequencies at 40 and 5 kHz, and a gain that works in conjunction with a small pad switch. When it's on or down, the sound is clean, and when it's up or off, the tube adds a lovely amount of saturation as you turn the gain knob clockwise. The 2 mini 3-way switches are what makes this pedal special. The deep switch boosts lows and highs and cuts mid frequencies at 400 and 600 Hz, giving it 2 iconic sound signatures based on Ampeg and Fender amplifiers. The top switch augments or reduces presence, giving a modern or vintage tone, a clearer or more muffled sound. Both switches in the mid position bypass these functions. So the bass adds a massive amount of lows and warmth, ideal for reggae, for example. Selecting plus on the top switch adds snap and liveliness to the sound, as if switching on a tweeter on a cab, for example. Obviously, you do end up with a bit of hiss, especially if you turn the treble knob up, but nothing extravagant. So how does the deep function affect the sound? To make it easy to understand, the 600 sounds mellow and warm, while the 400 also warm but with slightly more attack, making it great with saturation. So can this pedal sound like an overdrive? This is the moment you've been waiting for. At least it would be mine. Cool, no? The bass line was recorded with a switch to 400 and the lead with a switch to 600, with a high-pass filter post-production to take out the excessive lows that tended to mix like water and oil with the other bass sound. So the saturation or harmonic distortion affects the entire frequency range of the signal. Looking at the signal routing, we notice that the deep switch does come before the gain and the 12AX7 tube. So it does affect how it reacts and is at the core of the classic signature sounds that we already mentioned. The top switch and the EQ come right afterwards, which is great because that way you can sculpt the sound or the saturated signal to your likings. So why would I bring this pedal to a session even if I wasn't asked to? Simple. It makes me sound better. Not only can I quickly dial in a sound that is as familiar to the audience as it is to sound engineers, a sound easy to work with, by the way, either in post-production, adding, for example, a compressor or a capsim, or even reamping, or simply to send a proper balanced signal to any mixing console. And if you don't want to sound like a classic Fender or Ampeg preamp, then just leave the deep switch to a center position and enjoy the natural sound of your bass, but better, more detailed and yet more open. This pedal can be placed at the beginning of your signal chain, connecting it to the other pedals through the out jack, whereas the through jack is just a buffered clean signal that is also great to have to connect to a tuner or to the instrument input of an audio interface for backup purposes, for example, or at the end as it plays nicely with overdrives and fuzzes, for example. However, as a standalone pedal to send a quality, immediately recognizable signal, this is hard to beat. Now, due to recent events, the conflict in Ukraine to be more precise, this pedal is difficult to acquire right now. So be patient, let's hope for the best. And if you're watching this in the future and the pedal is available and you're thinking about buying one, I hope this video convinces you. Because the guys at Shiftline deserve all the love and attention they can get, and unfortunately are suffering, as many Russian civilians, the economic consequences of this absurd war. Still nothing compared to what the people in Ukraine are going through. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Blah, 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 blah. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Blah, blah.